Well, hi there. Welcome to Never Seen It, a podcast about movies that we haven't seen yet. I'm your host today, Betsy. With me, as always, is Trent.
Hey, Betsy.
You're also always here.
Always in this house, in this basement, forever and always.
On this podcast.
I do other things.
True enough. Today, we are moving along on our Best Picture journey. This is number 8 of 10. We are watching Tar.
Tar. Tar. I don't know how that accent mark is pronounced, so...
Tar. We're just gonna keep it simple. So obviously this one is nominated for Best Picture. We know a little bit about it, but Trent, what do you know about this selection?
So it is starring the one and only Cate Blanchett.
Hell yeah.
Who is also nominated for Best Actress in a leading role.
Once again, this
Yes.
is number 5 or something for her as far as acting goes.
Yeah.
In both categories.
Sure. She's also gotten some supporting nods as well. But this is a fictional story, I understand.
So kind of, because Lydia Tarr is a real person.
Is she?
Yes, so I don't know if the story that is being told has any relevance to real life or what little bits it does.
Okay.
But it is a real person.
Okay, I did not know. Because I tried to do a little bit of research on this before we sat down here, and everybody seems to be asking the question, is Tar based on a real person and real events? And I got mixed results.
So I think it's a real person. Now you're getting me
I don't know.
Confused. I don't know. I believe it's a real person. Whether the events are real, who the hell knows? It's a guy making a movie.
All right, fine. But she plays a composer.
A conductor.
Is it just a conductor, or does she also compose music?
I have no idea. She could be doing both.
It seems like she does both. Because a conductor just goes up there and waves a fucking wand.
Well, there's more to it than that.
Nah.
But fine if you want to be reductive about it.
I do want to be reductive. It's a podcast. So we watched a trailer for this a long time ago. This came out last October. And it was like, I don't know, July, August, September when we watched this. And it just seemed to me like, number one, it's very much an Oscar bait kind of a movie. And it's like kind of really artsy fartsy. That was my impression anyway. And it's going to be kind of all fucked up and like a mind fuck.
So yes, I think this is an art house piece, if you want to call it that. But I have also heard
you said it more elegant than I did.
Well, the guy who made this movie is Todd Field. And this is a man who is beloved by the Academy, but does not do a lot of movies. So the last movie he made was like 15 years ago. And before that, it was like 2001. But each of those got nominated for either Best Picture or Screenplay, acting. They were recognized by the Academy.
Well-made stuff.
Well-made stuff. So this is a man that people were very excited when he's putting out a new movie. Mm-hmm. And so it's gotten attention because of that. Do you know who Todd Field is?
I mean, the name sounds familiar, but no.
I'm going to hurt your brain right now. He is one of the ragtag group in Twister. He's the guy with the beard. Well, not the glasses, the other one.
Well, not Priest.
No, so the one with the short kind of brown hair and a beard.
Oh,
I think
that's
he wears like
right.
a denim jacket or something.
Yeah.
That is Todd Field. That is the man whose movie we're about to watch.
Yeah, I do remember you telling me something about that, and we had a conversation about him and his other movies. I just don't remember.
I also don't remember, but that blew my mind because I had no idea that he made movies, and the only context I have for him is Twister. So this is just absolutely going to be a fascinating experience for me.
All right.
Do you know anything else about this as far as like who else is in it?
Oh, God. No, I don't know any other actors in it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I also don't. Or if I did, I forgot.
I feel like this is going to be another very, very European kind of a movie.
Maybe.
Much like Triangle of Sadness. I'm not going to recognize anybody in this except for maybe a few like bit characters, and they're not going to matter.
Character type actors.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, I think we're going into this relatively blind. I've heard positive things. I've heard Cate Blanchett is amazing in it. She always delivers. So let's just do it. Let's go find out. We're going to watch Tar, and we will be right back. And we're back. So that was the movie about the completely fictional Lydia Tarr.
Yes, it was not real.
Not real. How are you feeling about that one, Trent?
Betsy, I feel like we're in the wrong tax bracket for this movie.
Okay, explain.
I don't know. I just feel like it wasn't meant for people like us. Like, we have this person who is very good at what they do as this, as not a composer, she's mainly a conductor. She's very much into music, very much into the, like, high dollar, like, she gets paid a shitload of money for coming in and performing or doing what she does. And she does it very well. And the audience, I think, is just kind of left in witnessing what is going on screen and not really understanding anything about what they're saying.
Like, just because it's a topic you don't understand? Because they're using the lingo. Like, half of this stuff, like, I've done music and music theory, and I didn't understand half what they were talking about.
Yeah, and I am feeling very much like a dum-dum, sitting here listening to these people talk to each other in this very high-minded way, and it's just going over my head, and I understand that that's not the point. The point is not for the audience to feel dumb. The point here, I think, is you get to see this person's fall from grace, and like she was like abusing her power and her positions and everything. She is also kind of a hypocrite in a lot of different ways.
Right. So we'll get into a lot of this, but I feel like there's one main message here. This is definitely, to me, feels like a part of the Me Too movement. Yeah. Where you've got a person in a position of power grooming young people, even though we don't actually see any of it. So you are kind of left to decide as the viewer if she did or didn't do this. Like, I feel like she definitely did, because she's not as subtle as she thinks she is. Like, the whole movie, she's like, here's a wacky idea, just off the top of my head.
Yeah,
why don't we do exactly that thing I've been plotting and make it seem like I'm just coming up with it right now?
Yeah, she thinks she's being clever and coy about it, but
literally everybody can look at her and know exactly what she's thinking.
Yeah, she's making the goo-goo eyes at the pretty lady in the middle, and everybody can see it.
Right. And the other thing is, when we see her fall, we find out that she's basically just a big fat phony. Her name is not Lydia. Her name is Linda.
She comes from a very much a lower to working class Staten Island neighborhood.
Yeah. Did they specifically say Staten Island?
Her brother has that kind of an accent.
Oh, that kind of accent. Yeah. Somewhere in New York, certainly.
Yeah.
And he's just like, hey, Linda, or Lydia, whatever your name is.
Right. And like, she definitely comes from this lower class of life. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but for her to completely change and abandon her roots, seemingly like completely abandoning her family.
She reinvents herself as Lydia Tarr instead of Linda Tarr with 2 R's.
Yeah.
So she's this made-up persona who, you know, at the beginning, the first scene of the movie is this interview that she's doing. Yeah. And this guy is doing this long introduction of all her accomplishments and all the things she's done and the amazing history she has.
And of course, all of that was written by her assistant,
who was speaking it verbatim.
Yeah, she was just mouthing the words as it was coming out of his mouth.
So yeah, I think what it is kind of demonstrating what a structured facade.
Yeah, it's all an act.
Yeah, so it's all an act, and it's, did she buy her own act? Is she a little bit insane? Like, there's a lot of moments where she's clearly got a thing about germs, and, you know, you said they have a line of dialogue about noises, how much little noises bother her.
Yeah, the old man that she's having lunch with a couple of times says something to the effect of, geniuses are often bothered by, like, little noises that happen in the background. And, like, it was like some other composer, some other smart guy a long time ago said that.
And they showed that a lot throughout the movie, like
Yeah.
the guy clicking the pen when he puts it down. It's very subtle, but she just grabs the pen and puts it in her pocket, like immediately. The kid at the beginning, he's twitching his leg, and she puts up with it for as long as she can, and then finally slams her hand down on his leg, like, oh my God, stop!
It was bothering me too. So.
Yes. So there's definitely this element of she wants everything to be the way she wants it. This very like sterile, dark, bare bones environment she lives in.
I hated her house. The concrete walls everywhere, and I understand that's maybe conducive for a musician. But
listen, there's also kind of two things going on, because once you find out more about her and that she's from this background of, she doesn't come from the nicest background, her shithole apartment that she doubles as her office makes a lot more sense. Like, there's this scene at the end of the movie where her wife basically says, you know, that's exactly who you are. You definitely play the politics. You want to know who you got to screw to get ahead. And I was a part of that.
And she did it to her wife.
Yeah, she did it to her wife. And she says something about, and you keep that apartment. That's the apartment she's in. And if you look at that place versus the home she lives in, they're very different spaces.
Yeah.
One is a shitty little apartment, and they demonstrate that by the caliber of the neighbor next door versus where she lives the rest of the time. So yeah, I think there's a lot to digest here. And the more we talk about it and think about it, we may have a more solidified opinion. But I'm with you where it's just 2.5 hours. I'm not sure where it's going. I was captivated the whole movie.
I was too, but I was very much aware of its length.
I didn't feel like it was long until about the last third.
Like, they could have ended it with her tackling Mark Strong. But no, it just kept on going, and I made sure to say something like, man, this just keeps on going, doesn't it?
Well, and it feels weird the way it ends. I thought it was going to end with this huge bang, and it kind of is more of a, like you said, the moment that's the bang is when she tackles the conductor who has been brought in to replace her. And then it's just this weird, sad little whimper where she's still employable, but only by some kind of convention of cosplayers?
Yes, I looked this up. I am not a fan of this thing, but apparently that is a bunch of cosplayers for people who like Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is a video game series, very popular in Japan and Asia and in the US.
Okay.
But it is very popular over there, and it's basically her conducting the music from those games. Much like you would have...
Like a live playing the game, and she's doing the score.
Yeah, like a live playing of the game, or like... they do like Legend of Zelda things and Metal Gear things where it's the music from the games and it's just conducted with a live orchestra.
Okay.
So that's that, but for
screens.
Monster Hunter with a bunch of cosplayers in the audience.
Oh boy. Yeah, so it is
So
a
that's
critique
how far
on...
she has fallen into doing this drivel, in her mind anyway. But you know what? She's still doing it. She's still putting in all of her effort.
But again, that's that thing of, there's a lot of discussion right now about people who are accused. And somebody makes a comment about it in this movie, like an accusal is basically a guilty sentence.
Yeah, they're talking about cancel culture here.
Cancel culture.
And what, like, they have this conversation with the old guy and Lydia. And there's also mention of it in the Juilliard classroom thing. But the old guy says, oh yeah, these older composers, you know, one guy like shoved his wife down a flight of stairs. Another guy fathered like 10 different children. And all these old composers and whatever were terrible people, comparatively speaking.
Cis white men.
Yes.
Who beat their wives.
Yeah.
And, you know, fucked multiple women. And they were just kind of terrible.
But because history has whitewashed that away, you don't, like, I never heard about that. Did you?
I mean, I don't really know that much about composers, but that doesn't surprise me that they would be terrible.
Like,
they were the rich 1% of their day.
Yeah, absolutely. They were the aristocrats of the day for sure. because this kind of music was like revered, and they were like, basically they would get away with whatever.
Well, yeah, and she gives a whole speech about the transcendence of their music above the man that composed it. And it's basically an allegory for her. Like, she's allowed to be a bad person because she's so brilliant.
Yeah, the genius overcomes whatever bad thing that they did. Well, no, it shouldn't. And that is the real message here. You don't get to keep on doing what you're doing if you're a piece of shit.
But it's also kind of saying that cancel culture isn't real because she's still got a job at the end.
I would agree with that. Cancel culture is not real because you can continue to do and live your life and do whatever that you want to do and make money. You just don't need to have it at this high level.
At the level you were at.
Yeah. And we're not going to get into a whole political thing about cancel culture in general.
No, I'm just saying in regards to this movie.
Yeah, in this movie, that is the message. Like, all of these old geniuses that everybody's revered, Bach and Beethoven, were apparently pieces of shit. And the student, I guess he's a student.
Yeah, she's teaching a class at Juilliard.
Max is the character's name.
And trying to create a new generation of composers, but to get them to think about it in a different way. And so she draws the comparison to, how do you feel about Bach? And he says, I'm not really a fan.
I'm not really a fan. And
because
it takes him a little while to come out and say it. And he basically says the modern line, saying, you know what, I don't need his kind of music anymore because I want to admire good people who weren't tainted by their personal stuff.
But then she even says, oh, you name-checked this person. Well, did you know that they're also kind of terrible? Yeah. Everyone is terrible. That's why they say don't meet your heroes. And like,
we always say it on this podcast. Don't meet your heroes.
And, I don't know much about Leonard Bernstein because that's who she's referencing. Her hero that she mentions throughout the movie is Leonard Bernstein and how he conducted his orchestras. And he was both. He was a composer and a conductor. I think he's probably better known as a composer.
I think so, yeah.
But she spends a great deal of time talking about him, and they don't address him. Like, what were his flaws? I'm sure he had them. If you and I just Googled him, we'd probably find some terrible shit about her own hero.
Well, I also think that she is very much emulating him in the way she is talking about music, the way she is writing her book. It's emulating a lot of the stuff that he's saying. Now, she can have the same kind of opinions about music. That's fine. But if you're just saying the same words, it just reinforces the idea that her entire thing, her act, is just
that.
Fake.
It's an act.
It's all fake.
So what do you think about the fact that her role could basically be a man? Like, the way this is written, the way she plays it.
Yeah.
The fact that she refers to herself as her daughter's father.
Yeah. When she goes to the bully and says, I'm Petra's father.
Yeah, what do you think of that aspect? Because I feel like that's an intentional choice. If it's just something to do with she's emulating Bernstein.
There is some weird gender stuff in here, and I think they even address it in the very beginning with the interview with the New Yorker. Like, she says, all of these other people came before me. It's not really a big deal. We're kind of past that. So she's not even really making a big deal out of the fact that she is a woman.
About her gender.
Yeah. And she's just discounting that and just saying, you know what? I'm transcendent of that whole argument. Like, I can do it just the same way as anybody else, and a guy can do the same thing that I'm doing. It's no different.
Good, bad, or worse, because, like I said, the behavior she has in this movie, or the implied behavior she has.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that at least to some extent it's real because there's literal evidence in her assistant's email.
Yeah, and I was just talking about the whole conductor thing. She even says the whole, well, why do we have conductor and not conductress? It's just, there's never been a need to make those lines different. But you're right. When it comes to gender roles in this scenario where she is at the peak of whatever it is that she's doing, she has people under her and she uses her power and influence in order to move the pieces where she wants them to be. Now, in this case, they don't explicitly say it, that she's doing these things, but I believe it.
They give you enough
I agree
evidence,
with you. Yeah.
enough supporting evidence to suggest she's a terrible person.
And like with this other girl who kills herself, it seems that whatever was going on between the two of them, maybe it went too far, or like they kind of refer to it a little bit at the very beginning after the interview with the New Yorker. There's a woman doing like a meet and greet with Lydia, and she's very much like, hey, can I text you later?
Well, did you also notice
flirting?
She admired her bag, and she had the bag later.
No, I didn't.
That's the same fucking bag. Yeah, she was like, by the way, I love your bag.
I didn't look at the bag.
And then she gets back to her home with her wife, and her wife says, is that a new bag? That's the same fucking bag.
Okay, I thought she was referring to the carry-on bag.
No, it's a big red handbag. It's pretty hard to miss.
No, seriously, I thought it was the carry-on bag for the hope.
I'm pretty sure it's the same bag. So they don't tell you what happened or that anything happened.
And in that case, she's lying to her wife.
Well, I definitely think she's lying to her wife to some extent.
Yeah, and like, was there something that went on? Like, did that woman give Lydia her bag after they had a little tete-a-tete?
Right, we don't know because they don't give it to you. And then she's got this assistant where she's very like handsy with her assistant in the car. Like when the two of them are riding to the airport, it's like the next scene or a couple scenes after that.
Okay.
She like puts her hand on her shoulder and she's talking about how, you know, you could be a conductor, you want to be a conductor, it's going to happen for you. But then she's also saying that there can't be two in a relationship. Like, it won't work. One person has to be the conductor.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of suggestive conversation that maybe that something happened between them. Because later on, when she says, okay, I'm going to fire Sebastian and I'm going to get a replacement, you can put your name on the list. She was very quick to just tell her, yeah, it's not going to be you. And her assistant fucks right off.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't tell her she's leaving. She doesn't give her any notice. She just disappears.
She also doesn't follow instructions to delete all of the emails where this woman is like very desperately trying to reach her, and really all she needs to do is say, hello, you exist, you matter.
This is somebody who knows what she has and is holding it for leverage.
Yeah, and
because
I think
she was waiting to get screwed because she's been on the outside looking in, and she has seen it happen to so many people.
Sure.
Why would she delete those emails?
Right.
They say, oh, well, the group that Krista was with, they said they've had some complaints. Well, let's see. Who do you think might have complained to them, Trent?
Right.
Who's got evidence? Who could say to them definitively, you're going to want to look into this?
And after the assistant fucks off, we don't see her again.
No. She just gets rejected, and she takes that power and she leaves.
Good on her.
Yeah.
But I did want to also say about Lydia, like, she is clearly defining and maintaining the power structure in everything that she is doing.
She likes to play the I'm the victim card.
Well, it's not even that. It's just I'm the boss.
Sometimes she's playing the victim. Like, what are you implying here? I don't like the way you're speaking to me.
Right.
If that's the case, we better just forget it.
Yeah, when in reality, she's the bad guy in almost every single scenario.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And speaking of being a victim, like, the stupid lies that she tells, like when she trips and falls and fucks up her face, she says, oh, I was attacked. No, you weren't.
You tripped over your feet.
You tripped over your own feet running away from an imaginary dog.
Was it imaginary, Trent?
Oh, Betsy, we'll get into this later. But just her trying to make it seem like she's more important than what she actually is. Like, someone would attack her. Someone would go after her.
Yeah, when she shows up the first time to rehearsal, and she's like, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Don't worry, you should see the other guy.
Right.
What happened to her? It's not a big deal. Don't ask me about it. It's totally fine.
Right.
You're just playing it off, even though everybody is staring at her fucked up face.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. Yeah, so let's just talk about some of the other things. So there's little hints about what's going on with the situation with Krista.
Okay.
And as that progresses and builds throughout the movie, there's a number of scenes where Lydia wakes up in the middle of the night and she has like a metronome ticking. The time she sits down to compose, there's like noise. There's like a human voice that plays. Like somebody is making a noise. She has her daughter wake up in the middle of the night and kind of stare off like there's somebody behind her. There's a lot of this shit. What do you think all that's about?
So I read something a little bit right before we sat down here. It was just kind of explaining some extraneous things. And the short version is there are figures in the background of these shots. And the implication is it's Krista. She's in the house with them and she's hiding in the house. And causing all this stuff to happen.
That she's not dead?
It was before she killed herself.
So there's another human hiding in her home.
There are apparently shots of a very red-headed woman, in this house, and you can barely see them.
I did think I think I saw one. The last time she gets up when her daughter is calling her, I thought there was somebody sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's just how it's shot, I think.
Okay.
You're not meant to look in the you're not
it.
meant to look in that area. Think about when we watched Midsommar. There was all sorts of stuff hidden in the backgrounds and in the foliage and everything else in that movie.
Okay.
I think that's going on here too.
But it's more like she is haunted metaphorically.
Yeah, and there's also like her dreaming.
She's having crazy dreams.
Clearly she's dreaming, and she doesn't sleep. And when you don't sleep, you tend to have crazy dreams when you do sleep.
Okay. Interesting. So how do you interpret the fact that there's like a metronome going off? Like that's not real?
So remember at the beginning of the movie where she is given this book by her assistant.
At the front desk.
At the front desk, there was no card. It was just left there. And there was some kind of weird design in the inside cover of the book.
And we see that a bunch of times throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah, at least a few times. And the second time we see it, like the cover of the metronome in her cabinet had that design on the other side of that cover.
Yes.
And one other time is on the paperwork over at Francesca's place.
And it's in her daughter's room, too. So, it's probably Francesca, because she's her assistant. She'd have keys to her apartment. And she has evidence. Why wouldn't she try to drive her insane?
True.
So it might just be as simple as that. Her assistant has been going into her apartment in the middle of the night when she knows she's sleeping just to fuck with her.
I mean, that's the most logical explanation here, where she would have also been the one to take her scorebook, the music book, and give it to Mark Strong.
Yeah. Oh, that's who's got it. I was trying to figure out what would have happened to that. And he's the logical person because he was kind of obsessing over it at the beginning.
Well, she says it when she tackles him. You've got my scorebook. Yeah.
But how did he get it? Because it's before all the shit starts falling downhill.
Yeah, and I don't know if we're meant to know that for sure, but immediately, as soon as the book was missing, I figured it was him. He had it somehow, whether he went into her apartment and stole it, or
the assistant got it for him.
Or the assistant got it for him, yeah.
Yeah. And his character is a little bit weird because he shows up at the beginning and then he's got like one scene in the middle and then at the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
And he's apparently a wannabe conductor, but I thought he was like some kind of business manager.
No, he's another conductor.
But where did he work? Why was he in an office? What was that about?
I think they probably work or at least maybe they are working for the same agency. I honestly do not know.
Okay. Yeah, I was just a little confused.
But they're in the same world. Mm-hmm. But yeah, after that first scene with him, like, he is almost begging her to show him her notes about how to do the thing that she does. And she's not going to be forthcoming about it because that's a threat to her. Mm-hmm. She's not about to help some up-and-comer.
Well, and he's not even like a young whippersnapper. He's
No.
He's like the same age as her.
But still,
But
if there's any kind of threat to her supremacy, then she's going to nip that in the bud.
Right. Well, and she demonstrates that because when Krista, whatever happened with Krista, we don't exactly know. Again, the implication is she was making advances and Krista did not reciprocate. So when she refused her, she sent emails to everybody in the world saying, well, I gotta warn you, don't hire her.
Yeah.
Because
I'm sure
she's bad news.
She might have been threatened by her because she was this very young, up-and-comer, beautiful girl.
Female composer.
Exactly. And
conductor.
Again, another threat to her.
Yeah. Yeah, see, there's a lot to unpack here. It's not like this movie is devoid of things. It's just how you feel about it.
Yeah.
So again, talking about things in the movie, the creepy basement with a dog. Mm-hmm. So she gives this hot young cellist a ride. Olga. She forgets something in the car, so she follows her, but she loses sight of her. But she can hear some music, like somebody's singing.
Right.
So she follows where she thinks the music is going to this basement, and it's like waterlogged and creepy.
It's a shithole.
And you hear somebody running in the water. So she keeps turning around like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And then she finally turns around and there's a dog.
Yeah. This scene was another thing that this article was talking about. They surmise that this is a hallucination.
Okay.
Where she's probably very, sleep deprived.
She's also taking pills.
Drugs, whatever drugs they happen to be, probably sleeping pills, because she always tends to take them at night. Mm-hmm. Well, no, because she also takes them right before the show.
She takes them every time right before she's about to go on stage.
Yeah. So I don't know what the hell those are. But yeah, she's on drugs. Mm-hmm. She's sleep deprived. She's having crazy dreams. And like the one dream that they never really come back to, the one where it's kind of a lagoon,
it's and like she's like Amazon rainforest.
She's on a bed in the middle of a pond, and like her bed starts on fire.
She starts on fire.
Or she starts on fire in the bed, yeah.
And it's just like a brief moment, just long enough for you to figure out, I think she's on fire, and then end of dream.
And then she wakes up, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the rest of the dreams seem like almost like weird sex dreams.
Yeah, they're in like a black room where it's a lot of people embracing and strange faces. But there's also, if you noticed, in her office apartment, there's a picture on the wall that basically looked like that.
Yes, I did notice that.
So that was an interesting touch.
Yeah.
So let's talk about something that I know you and I both really liked. This is an extremely dialogue-heavy movie. Like, she has these minutes-long bits of dialogue and conversation that are either meant to look like continuous shots or in some cases actually are.
Like the stuff in Juilliard, I believe was one continuous shot.
And it's like 10 minutes of her just talking and teaching this class.
Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of big words. It's a lot of like specific names and numbers and oh my God.
Yeah.
Like that right there, she knocked it out of the park.
It is a masterclass what she is doing here.
Yeah.
Like, give her all the Oscars. Like, we'll get to the Oscar discussion when we do our special about who we think is going to end up winning. But I understand completely why she continues to be nominated, because not everybody could do what she's doing here. Mm-hmm. And with such, I don't know, what's the word I want to use? Like, it almost feels casual. The way she's doing it.
She's doing it with the confidence of somebody who has done it 50 times. And she probably had to do it that many times.
Probably. Because it's so many words. Like the first scene is like 17 minutes. Like from the opening, which is literally the credits going backwards, which I thought was a weird
I wanted
touch.
to mention that. Yeah, the beginning of the movie, it starts with, credits like normal, but it's like credits from the end of the credits going backwards up until you get to the written and directed by.
Yep. And then
without the cast.
And then it's a weird shot of somebody live streaming on a plane. And then we get the interview.
Like that little scene of the Instagram live person should have been way later in the movie. I don't know why that was there.
And it's a few places because we see that part. They do it one other time. And later we find out it's Olga who was doing that.
Sure.
And then there's a scene that we find out was Krista editing her Wikipedia page. Mm-hmm. But we don't know at the moment that they're showing that's Krista.
Right.
So there's some editing things happening here, some interesting storytelling devices. This is definitely a movie you have to watch more than once to fully understand who is doing what and what's going on. Because especially at the beginning when you're trying to figure this out, it's very random. Like, why is this little shot here? Why is that little shot there?
So many unexplained things. And eventually they do get to them. But yeah, like... the first, third of the movie, it's like everybody's speaking in tongues. I can barely understand any of the words coming out of people's mouths, and I'm just there absorbing it.
Because it's a topic you are unfamiliar with.
I have zero interest in such things.
This is also like a 300 level class that they're having right now. And they assume that everybody listening knows what they're saying, so they don't bother explaining it to you, the viewer, because we're smart people and we're just going to explain it to each other.
Yeah, it's like everybody talking shop. Like, you talk to your coworkers about, you talk in like jargon that nobody else would understand. That's normal.
Yeah.
But in this case, like, it's all like highfalutin language that does not jive with me.
It is an accessible topic that anybody can learn. Mm-hmm. It's just that very few people do. And the people that are into classical music at a high level are really into classical music.
I can't get beyond the pretentiousness of it. And
that's the problem we have in this modern era is classical music has become pretentious.
Yes. And it's
for the
only,
rich.
It is only for the rich. As of like this era of our time, classical music is only enjoyed by people who can afford to go and pay for it to be actually performed in front of them.
It can be enjoyed by people outside of that context, but in the best way to enjoy it is a live performance.
Yeah.
And this theater that they were practicing in is beautiful.
Gorgeous.
It's very like modern wood. I've seen a couple of theaters sort of similar to this one, but this is apparently in Berlin, and I assume that is where this actually is a real symphonic hall.
Yep.
But yeah, it does get very, I am the best in the biz, I know more than you, and it just adds to her character.
And like right off the bat, I knew that this was not a character that I was going to have any kind of sympathy for or admiration for or anything in common with until they got to the house that is all wood paneling.
The chintzy bullshit on the walls.
Yes.
And her dorky little like accordion and awards from childhood.
Right. And she even puts on one of her medals as she's watching this old video.
A VHS
on
tape
a very old
of
television.
Leonard Bernstein.
Yeah.
One thing, did you notice the fact that for a movie about a conductor, this is a movie almost devoid of music?
When there is music, it's very like in your face.
It's diegetic. They are playing it. It is happening. It's not happening in a way that is just a score throughout the movie.
No. There is no music
There's
otherwise.
no score. Everything that you're hearing is that orchestra.
Yes.
So there are moments where it's just quiet. You hear everything. You hear the sound of the wind and the car moving and the little, the rattle from the air conditioner.
Come on, Porsche, you gotta make your cars better.
It's a very visceral kind of experience that you don't usually think of. It's definitely a creative choice to not have a score. The score is when she is on stage.
And she's not even on stage conducting the entire thing in the entire movie. She does not conduct an entire, whatever the thing is called.
A piece.
It's just rehearsal. That's the only thing she's ever doing.
She plays a little piano. She has somebody next to her playing a cello.
Yeah, it's just little bits and pieces.
Well, and I even said to you, because we were getting close to the end of the movie, and I had heard that this is a great example of show, don't tell storytelling.
Okay.
Where you see she's in this deposition. She's in her book tour or whatever, her book launch. She comes back. Shit's kind of hitting the fan.
Yeah, very quickly.
You see her have a conversation with her wife. The next scene, she is lugging her suitcases up the stairs. So she's clearly been kicked out. Like, she tries to go and see her daughter. Her wife pulls her away.
Yeah, they are separated.
They are not together.
Yes.
She's going upstairs to the boardroom at this symphony, and it is full of people who were very much talking, and then they stop talking.
Yeah. So she's in there basically to get fired.
And then they show her looking very sad in a corner.
Yep.
And then the next time we see her, she is tackling a man on stage because he has taken her place in this symphony she's supposed to be conducting.
And she hid herself in the bathroom while everything got set up without her. And she sneaks out in her...
Sneaks?
Well, you know what I mean.
She sprints full speed and tackles the man.
Right. But yeah, she comes out while they're getting ready to basically start, and the actual conductor is up there, and she tackles the fuck out of him.
Screaming at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is all unfolding very quickly with almost no dialogue.
Yeah.
And I forget where I was going with that, but the point is it's something I had heard and I understand it. Oh, now I remember. So when we're getting to this point, I was like, I would not put it past this filmmaker at this point in the movie to do the full symphony. Like, most symphonies are like, if you do multiple movements, anywhere from 25 plus minutes. 25 might even be short. I don't know the piece in question, what the runtime is.
No idea.
I would not have put it past him to just have her conducting it, and we just have that playing the entire rest of the movie.
Yeah, you said that before she was walking out and then running out. You thought she was going to come out and they were going to let her finish conducting this one show, and then she's gonna be out.
Because there's so much press about this event, it seems in poor taste to fire her right before it, but rather you could just say, oh, well, she gets to do it, and then she's fired.
But here's the deal, though. They gave you a little bit of a clue that that wasn't going to happen, because when she's running down the street, there's a poster up of her, and, like, she's been X'd out. Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah, like I said, this is all just, you have to be paying attention at this part.
Yeah.
But I would still didn't know how it was going to end, because I was expecting a big bang of a finish. And it just sort of fizzles out where she has this new press team and they say, we're just going to get you something small. We're not going for big. And then when we see where she lands, it's a
much smaller thing.
A very small venue,
Yeah.
halfway around the world. And she's even like, I wasn't able to look up the composer's piece. Oh, yes, we have it for you here. It's because it's such a podunk little event that you can't look it up. It's probably brand new. And here we go with all the cosplayers.
Monster Hunter.
So were there any other moments that you wanted to bring up about this specific movie before we get into the Oscar conversation?
There were a couple of quotes that I wanted to pull out here. Mainly it's during the Juilliard section where she's kind of berating this Max kid. And the first quote here is when Max is saying, I don't want to get down with this guy who has been accused of all these different things. And she responds to him saying, you know what? Don't be so eager to be offended.
Yeah.
So I kind of take this as a generational thing. Clearly, this is coming from a more Gen Z attitude where, you are judging people who are not conforming to whatever the new and modern thing is.
Or so, just not trying to be accepting or open-minded. Because this is, again, she is pitting up against him where she's just like, oh man, you kids, you're so young and crazy. Like, that's just a phase.
Right. And I'm like, a good example of this is if you were to misgender someone and they correct you and you don't immediately change and you don't apologize and things like that.
It's willfully not participating.
Like, come on, this is a new fad.
You're not even trying.
You're not even, And I get that it is very much a generational thing, and she is being dismissive of these people.
Again, just establishing that she's just like, I'm better, I know better, you're wrong, and I don't need to change.
Well, and the other quote that I pulled out of that is, the architect of your soul is social media. I wanted to applaud that one. Like, come on. Like, your entire existence and your validity does not come from social media. It comes from what you do and what you say. And I think the filmmaker here was also showing Max and all these other people as young people as like very nervous around Lydia. Like the kid with his bouncing leg and the one girl who says, oh, I thought it was awesome.
And
she's dismissive of her saying the word awesome.
But Max is also afraid to voice an actual opinion.
Yeah.
For fear of upsetting her. And when he barely says it, she tears him a new one.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm so sorry for offending your delicate sensibilities. Well, your hero is bullshit, and you're a pathetic little baby whose personality is defined by social media. And he calls her a bitch and he walks out.
Yeah.
And he's probably right to do that, because there was a better way she could have approached that.
Yeah. Well, and she's
got valid points. But her approach was very bad.
Right, and she's like asking him, like, well, what do you think about this? Articulate your entire thought process to me right now. You don't get a chance to have a well thought out answer to her. You have to have it completely thought out right away. And he's just a kid. He doesn't have decades and decades of experience thinking and talking about such things. When she goes to lunch every day and talks to fucking rich assholes about this all the time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of an attitude that I cannot get down with, where you are looking down on anybody who doesn't have the same kind of appreciation, and I don't even really think that she has that big of an appreciation.
No, she just wants to be right. She wants to be right.
She wants to be right. She wants to be admired.
And form him the way that she thinks he needs to be formed.
Yeah.
Like, heaven forbid he approach it his own way, with his own style and his own preferred composer as his muse.
Right.
And his inspiration.
And the first question out of her mouth was, well, why did you come to Juilliard? No, you came here because of a brand. Juilliard is a brand, and that's why you came here.
Yeah.
It's even dismissing Juilliard as a school.
She's so disgusted by this place that's paying her to teach.
I know. It's
again, fake, phony, fake. All right. Well, were there any other things? I think I've pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
It's just all those moments where she's trying to justify her own behavior.
Yeah.
That sort of completely defines her as a character.
And just the stupid lies that she tells.
They're so stupid.
Not only to herself, but everybody else. She doesn't value anybody but herself.
Right, except maybe her daughter, and she fucks that up.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this one. I think it is definitely going to be towards the bottom, because I just can't get down with... I mean, I understand, I am being transported to this world of this very fancy music stuff, and I don't belong there. And I'm not supposed to belong there, because they are, by nature, exclusionary.
They're trying to make you feel excluded in this.
Yes, exactly. So maybe I'm just a little bit standoffish just from that point of view, but for the rest of it, as a movie, the performances, the shots, everything else was pretty good. It was filmed from interesting angles. I appreciated that they had the full-ass orchestras with actual players and instruments and everything else. And it filled our room for sure. It sounded great.
There were some moments where it was just bah! And just holy shit!
Yeah.
But jumped off the couch.
Yeah, so it's just kind of too weird for its own good. Yeah.
I feel like this is one, like I said earlier, it bears repeating. I think once you've gotten it out of your system and now you know what to expect, you can appreciate it more. But on its surface, right now, it's just, this is a lot to digest, and I'm going to need some time.
Yeah, and I think I got the messages that they were trying to put out there, and I appreciated those for what they are. I like the fact that they depicted her as having a downward spiral, as it were, where she just fucks off and goes to Asia and continues her career out there because they don't know any better. I don't know.
Who knows? But
anything for a paycheck.
She wants to work. That's where she can get the work.
Yeah.
Well, this movie, let's talk Oscars. This movie is nominated for 6 Academy Awards, Trent.
I did not know that.
So it is up for Best Actress in a Leading Role, Best Motion Picture, Directing, Original Screenplay, Cinematography, and Film Editing.
All right.
So I feel like the screenplay is warranted, if nothing else, that this is just such a mouthful of dialogue. And it's definitely not a story that I have seen before, at least not from this perspective.
And as far as like the rest of the dialogue is concerned, it's really going down to the performances of the actors, mainly Cate Blanchett, of course, where like from the get-go, we have 2 really, really long scenes of just conversation, like the interview on stage for the New Yorker. Then you have the Juilliard class, and like those are all very front-loaded. For the rest of the movie, you don't get any of that.
You get some like dinner scenes, like when she's out having drinks with people or having lunch with people. It's a lot of back and forth, or just
not nearly as long, but yeah,
conversations with her spouse or fights with Sebastian. Like it's a lot of her and one other person.
Yeah.
Well, overall, I don't feel too bad about the other ones. I think it looks interesting. It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
The editing, like I said, I think if I watched it again, I might appreciate the editing more.
Maybe, and I think it's just kind of, again, too weird for its own good when it comes to like the weird dreams and the quick cuts to her when she's conducting. And yeah, it's hard for me to really judge an editing award because I don't know what they really look at. Is it most edits? I have no idea.
If it was most edits, I think we'd have a different winner. I think we already covered that one earlier.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to take it to an email. We actually received an email about Tar from Mitch from Saskatoon. We have not actually read this because we hadn't watched the movie until just now.
Right. This is a first for never seen it.
Especially because most of the time, we don't get these emails until after we have seen them.
Exactly. And this is the one time where, well, one of few times where you know what we're going to be watching.
True. All right. Well, he begins. Hello, guys. I'm going to cover the movie Tar before you get to it. So, sorry, potential spoilers to follow.
And that's where I stopped reading it the first time when this came in.
He also kindly left a gap in the emails so
yes.
you didn't
Thank
see
you for
something
that.
accidentally. First of all, this is not my typical choice of movie. I would much rather watch a family movie or comedy. This is neither. I just wanted you guys to have a reaction immediately for your podcast. Well, thank you, Mitch. My first gut reaction is that Trent will love the movie due to its dialogue, and Betsy will like it in regards to the music and sounds.
We'll come back to that.
He continues, for me, I had no idea what I was getting into here. I knew a lot of classical music was going to be involved, and that was it. Little did I know that I was going to be watching a character study of a highly accomplished composer who has character issues to overcome. Cate Blanchett sells it, a really strong performance that I am sure you will agree deserved her the Best Actress nod.
Yeah.
She is speaking different languages, threatening children, doing her own conducting and piano playing. There are so many levels to her character that we are introduced to bit by bit, and by the end, you want to feel for her but realize that she kind of deserves everything she gets.
Uh-huh.
Conducting an orchestra for a live movie performance in Asia is quite the fall. My favorite thing about the movie was the long, uncut shots. There were lots of those. The Juilliard lesson early on, I believe, was like that. It's also interesting how when you're watching that, your brain doesn't really realize right away that it's
just
all
watching
one
somebody
continuous
talk.
shot. Yeah, and after a while, you're like, wait, I think this has been one shot.
Those are the best, though, because it doesn't call attention to itself.
No, and you have to maneuver the camera in really interesting ways, which is, again, why I think he gets nominated for direction. It's interesting, the way it's filmed. Anyway, he continues. The way they accentuate her either sensitive hearing or paranoia, whichever it is, works well. I also truly loved the music. It sets the mood well throughout. I am not qualified to give Oscar predictions, so I will leave that to you. For me, this was worth a watch and took me somewhere I hadn't been before. I hope you guys liked it. Enjoy the rest of Oscar season.
Thank you, Mitch. Yeah, I kind of wanted to have one more thought about, and I don't think it really works with the sequence of events, but I'm choosing to believe this, where she hears the old dude say, or when they're having lunch, she hears the old dude say something about, oh, this old composer say, geniuses tend to be bothered by little noises. I felt like she was just taking that and running with it and telling herself that she is a genius because all these noises are bothering her.
Oh, she has to take on the affectations of genius
yes.
because she's just so
That's
brilliant.
How I took it, even though the sequence of events doesn't really match that.
I mean, she kind of starts the movie doing weird little things.
Yeah.
And she keeps doing weird little things the whole movie.
Yeah. One thing we did not say, the one laugh I think both of us had in the entire movie, when the old woman across the way dies in the other apartment, the family comes by to say, oh, we heard you were playing music. Do you have like a schedule for your rehearsals just for when we want to bring people over to show the apartment because we're going to sell it?
We don't want it to deter people if they know there's someone loud next door.
And she starts just fucking laughing at them.
Slams the door in their face.
Slams the door in their face and brings out her accordion and just starts singing this nonsense song. Saying, apartment for sale, apartment for sale.
Your mom died and now you're gonna sell it. Your sister's in a jail.
What
apartment for sale.
Fucking asshole she is. God.
At this point, she's already, been dumped and fired, and she's a little bit crazy. So she just starts stomping and playing the accordion because that's all she's got left.
It's, again, the only time I laughed in that entire movie. It was good.
It was a funny scene. And she's playing the accordion badly. Like, she's just making
singing
noise.
badly, too.
Yes. Well, thank you, Mitch, for sending us that email. We appreciated having one that's actually coherent to what we were talking about.
That's never happened before.
I don't believe so. I think maybe one time I solicited somebody in the early days.
Oh, I suppose, yeah. All right.
But we would love to hear from you other listeners. If you have seen Tar or any of the other Best Picture nominees, why don't you also send us an email? You can deduce by now the two we have remaining. So if you've seen them and want to pull a Mitch, send those to us now. We'll just save them.
Well, I will say, based on when we are going to be available to watch Women Talking.
More when Women Talking is available.
Women Talking will be the last movie that we do here, and we'll have a little bit more here, I think, next week about what the schedule is for that. But the next Oscar movie will be All Quiet on the Western Front, and then we'll do Women Talking after that. It'll be the last one for sure.
Yep.
But
if you would like to email us about those or any of the movies we've covered so far, or any of the non-Oscar movies, we would love to hear from you. Email us, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. You can support the show by following all of our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram pages. Just look up Never Seen It, Betsy and Trent. We're easy to find.
All that stuff. You'll figure it out.
Link in the podcast description, all that good stuff. You can also support the show by clicking that link and throwing us a buck. We would appreciate that ever so much. But that's going to be it for this one. Like we said, we've got a couple more Oscar movies. We've got a couple of randos sprinkled throughout here. Our next episode will be a very special episode. It's going to be our 200th movie.
200 movies.
200.
Pay no attention to the episode number at the beginning of the title.
We've had specials.
And those don't count.
But our movie number will be 200,
yes.
So tune in for that to see what we picked as our special milestone movie.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's Oscars. We're going to have our Oscars special.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the stuff to look forward to in the coming weeks. And then, who knows? We'll have a plan after that.
Sure.
Eventually. But in the meantime, this has been another episode of Never Seen It. I am Betsy.
I am Trent.
And we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.